Hi, this week the focus is on voice or tone. Basically, we are going to talk about fiction or even story writing. One of the elements that plays a vital role in fiction writing or story writing is voice or tone. How you gonna create tone or voice? Why it is important? That is something we will discuss in this week. When we talk about voice, we can also talk about how voice or tone create mood and what style of writing creates what sort of tone or what sort of voice. That is something we will discuss in this video. Talking about tone or voice, author Johanna Campbell Slan writes that is the voice is the humanity behind the words that connects the reader to the character on a personal level. So you can also read the material or the articles I have provided you with, and you'll be able to even read the examples that how voice can be established. And it is very crucial. It's very important what kind of message that you want to communicate in what way. For that reason, voice is very important. So again, what sort of attitude you want to establish, or a sort of a viewpoint of the character. So and again, you can create voice not only in a way you use the words or the dictions or and then the different choices of the words. Only the talent would not help you with it. Along with that, the skill of presenting your ideas. Here you see in the article, which is there, you can read. So it says that how you can establish tone is through every clause and part of speech, and then also how you present your ideas in particular way you write, and the use of commas and the dashes. Those are some of the elements that also establish the agileness of the writing. So these are some of the important things that you need to think of when we talk about voice. So voice is very important. How you want to create the attitude and the mood of the character, within the story. What sort of voice you want to bring in. Sometimes you will be able to create that and establish that voice from the dialogue that you have between the characters, who speaks in what way. That will show the personality of the character, or the attitude or the mood or the temperament of the character. And also the way you write, the way you present your ideas, not only with the uses of the words, but also how you put those words in a particular sentence structures, and then the how long is the sentence, how short it is, and things like that. Those are some of the important things that you need to think of when you are writing a story, or you're doing a fictional writing, and that is something very important. So if you go to the course this week, the module, I have here a summary overview of all the readings so far, that has been given in a PowerPoint slides. But more than that, you can always go back to the readings, and then get an overview of what voice is and what tone and style of writing is, and how that establishes the voice. Okay, and again, literature itself can be discussed as a form of communication, because there you have a tripartite relationship of three things, like the author who writes something, and that has been read by the reader, and through the by the help of author who writes some content, it's communicating to the reader, and the text, the writer who writes the text, and that has been communicated to the reader. That's why that there is a sort of a triangular relationship of the author and the reader and the text. So again, I mean, the fiction is a kind of a make-believe invented stories, and when we talk about fiction, we have stories, short stories, fables, business plays, novellas, novels, all comes under the genre of fiction. And again, there are some of the elements of fictions which I'm not gonna repeat myself here. Always it begins with some sort of expositions, and there is a rising action, and there's a climax, and then the falling action, and then the end, the denouement. So this is how it is said. If there is no sort of a rising action or the conflict established, there is a conflict, could be within the characters, himself or herself, or between the characters, the character and nature, could be a conflict with something or someone. So that conflict is something to create tense, and that kind of draws the attention of the reader, because you want to drag your reader from the very beginning to the till the very end. Otherwise the reader might lose the interest. And along with that creating conflict, and that there are other elements. The voice is one of the elements that is very important, and that's the focus in this in this module that we have been discussing this week. So again, so voice in fiction is very, very important, because we listen for the voices, and we and also the voices, it depend from what kind of a narrative point of view you have used. Sometimes first person narrative point of view might have a different voice from the second person narrative point of view, or the third person narrative point of view. Sometimes the kind of content that you have in your writing might demand a certain type of point of view, narrative style. Those Some of you who might be some of the writers who might be very much used to using first person narrative narrative point of view might not be willing to use a second person narrative point of view, or a third person narrative point of view, because they are not used to it. Okay, but some of the content might be different, but you might want to try or experiment on a different point of view, which might completely and absolutely change the meaning of your story, or might make your story either worse or even better. So you might want to experiment on that. It even changes the voices. So those are some of the important things that you need to look into when you are writing a story, or a kind of any doing a sort of a fictional work. Again, voice in fiction can be made based on how you have a sentence, the sentence rhythm and the pattern, the word choices you have, even the kind of syntax, the sentence structure that you have, even other grammatical things, the comma and semicolons that you use. Those things also affect the voice in your writing. So when you write something, make sure that you experiment on it, maybe changing narrative point of view, or maybe using the what kind of a character that you want to represent. Maybe could be the author's voice, could be the character's voice, who is the author, what the author wants to communicate, in what way. You always have to be very much mindful of that, and what is your intention. That is very, very important. Based on your intention, you can create this the voice, what you want to give to your audience, what kind of characters you want to bring in your bring to your writing. Based on that, you have to establish your voice. Those are some of the very important things that you need to look into. Again, there is a long list of tones, what kind of tones that you want to create in your writing, what kind of mood you want to create in your writing. There are different, and what kind of style that you want to bring in, and that also is dependent on the voice that you want to create. Okay, so these are some of the important things you want to do. So again, as part of this week assignment, you have 2 discussion questions. You will read the articles that I have assigned you to read and answer the question that has something to do with style and tone. And also the discussion 4, again, you will read the articles that have something to do with literature as a form of communication. But what I would like you to do is Make sure you read it thoroughly, and when you answer the questions, try to incorporate the outside sources from the readings, and then and back it up. I mean, back your ideas up. Okay, support your ideas, maybe using in-text citation or quotation. That way, you would be able to make your answer very effective. And then, as part of the assignment this week, some of the reading, I have given you under the further readings here. I have some of the writing examples from some of the renowned author, and then some of the renowned or well-known books. For example, Bluest Eyes, I have here writing sample from these fiction, and then read that, or maybe Tildor, one of the story from this is a collection of story, Life of Pi, A Wellman and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway, Charlotte's Web, Guru by Samrat Upadhyay, that's another novel. So yeah, I've given you some of the writing examples. So pick one of the writing examples and try to imitate the reading based on the readings that I have already given you there, and then try to imitate, copy their writing style, but in your story. So come up with your story, but try to imitate one of the readings that I have assigned you here to read, based on other reading materials for this week. And then let's see how far you'll be able to imitate their writings. It's all about the practice, in terms of the voices that they have, the tone that they have in their writing. Okay, so or the writing style. So that is it. So if you have any questions, please let me know, or give you provide your feedback or comments, just right below this video as well. So thank you.